This is the Sports Hit List. By the fans, for the fans.
Episode 2 of the Mount Rushmore series continues. Car Coulage for the Sports Hit List. By the fans and for the fans, we are at the power forward position. Let me introduce my contributors. Co-founder of the Sports Hit List, Mr. Ziggy Zig. How you doing, sir?
Yo, what's going on, man? I'm here. Thank you.
We have self-proclaimed founder of the Hit List and pastor, Mr. Mike Miller himself. Mike, how you doing, sir?
What's up, my brother? Living and maintaining, man.
And we have Ray Jarvis from the Gray Area. Ray, how you doing, sir?
I'm good.
And we have Mr. Numbers himself, Andres Rivas. Andres, how you doing, sir?
Doing amazing, bro. Always doing amazing, man.
All right, so we're at the power forward position. This one's a tough one. We have a lot of great power forwards here. Ray Jarvis, I'm going to give you your flowers first and start off with who are your top 4 power forwards in the NBA all time?
First and foremost, salute to my Los Angeles Lakers, 17-time world champs, greatest organization in the NBA, Mount Rushmore franchise in all the sports. Power forward position. This is a very interesting spot. There's a lot of guys who could be here. I'm not going to do the Mr. Numbers thing. I'm not going to try to parse things. We're just going to talk about what we saw and how these players made us feel, as well as their accolades, their acumen on the court, etc. So my 4, starting off, Kevin McHale, a staple at the power forward position in the NBA's boom period. At a time when you thought about the power forward position, you thought of Kevin McHale. That is an inarguable fact. He was a standard for the position at a point in time. The next guy on the list, Karl Malone, one of the league's greatest scorers. Pick and roll basketball with John Stockton, unstoppable mid-range, unstoppable post-game, a beast on the boards. 2 towers, MVP, 2 finals appearances, dog fights against Michael Jordan. There was no cakewalks when Utah went against the Bulls. Shout out to Karl Malone, another person. When you think the power forward position, you think Karl Malone. We go to the next position, another staple of the position, Kevin Garnett. The blueprint for the new era, 1995, coming into the league. Athletic, 6'11", could jump out of the gym, mid-range, because at some point started stepping out to the 3, doing things we had never seen before. One of the greatest individual defenders of all time, a champion, a defensive player of the year, dominated both Eastern Conference and Western Conference, a face of the league at a certain point. You have to put Kevin Garnett in that list. And number 1 for me, this is where it gets a little controversial because some of us NBA fans can't see past color. But number 1 for me, Dirk Nowitzki. That man was a problem. If you are a true basketball fan, you know how filthy Dirk was with Steve Nash dating back to early 2000s, all the way through that decade, becoming a champion. He fell on his face. He got back up. He was unstoppable. Dirk Nowitzki, however you want it, he gave it to you. And as he got old and those feet started to go, he changed his game a little bit, couldn't move as swift, but he would give you that mid-range, that little face-up jump shot, the one-legged fade, the trailer three-pointer, however you wanted it. Dirk Nowitzki gave it to you. A beast for his time. And a lot of people don't give him his flowers, but here I am. Give Dirk his flowers. Number 1 on my list.
Okay, so he goes Kevin McHale, Karl Malone, Kevin Garnett, and Dirk Nowitzki. Pastor, floor is yours, my man.
See, I always knew that. See, me and Ray been going at it for like a couple months now, but I always knew he was my brother, man. I love those picks, man. I always knew it. So I got Karl Malone, of course. That's my number 1. Karl Malone's the most dominant power forward ever. There's nothing you can debate about that. On the court, in terms of individual talent, Karl Malone's the most dominant power forward. Dirk, that's my number 2. This is my order too. Karl Malone, Dirk, and man, my man Ray ain't mentioned it. I wasn't even gonna go that far, but Tim Duncan. I have Tim Duncan in there, number 3, and 4th I got Charles Barkley. So,
I didn't know what to do with Timmy. That's why I left him off the list. I don't know if he's a 4 or 5, to be honest.
Okay, so we got Karl Malone, Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan, and Charles Barkley for Mike. Ziggy, you're on the floor.
All right, so I guess you could tell by some of the picks that I'm going to make, you could tell at a certain what kind of age range you're looking at when you come to me, right? So let's just go right off the bat. Number 1, this was one player that I definitely hated. Jarv mentioned him, but he had that series against the Lakers in his championship run, Dirk Nowitzki. I'm definitely going with him. That game against the Lakers where they were just raining threes left, right.
Listen.
Jason Terry, Peja Stojakovic, Dirk Nowitzki, everybody, and that just turned my whole face around to Dirk Nowitzki, and then going on to win that championship against Miami. I have to put him in that list. Also, I'm not gonna go off numbers like I said. I'm going to go off just of eyes. Just eyes. John been really a guy supporting like, yo, you got to use your eyes, got to use your eyes. So I'm following suit, right? Next one, definitely my favorite growing up, actually, first beyond everybody, Kevin Garnett. On the both sides of the ball, he was a monster defensively, offensively, multiple all NBA teams, a champion when he went to Boston. At that point, I stopped rooting for him. But I gotta give it to Kevin Garnett. Had two of his jerseys growing up as a kid, so definitely love him. What he did in Minnesota. Number three, Tim Duncan. Can't forget Tim Duncan. When I was not rooting for Kevin Garnett, I was rooting for Tim Duncan. Some people know that I definitely was a fan of Greg Popovich and the Spurs coming up. And Tim Duncan was a monster as well on the both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. Could shoot it from mid range, could take it from three from time to time, but defensively was a linchpin. It was hard to get in there with Timmy, especially when he was playing with David Robinson. He too was another one that was able to retool his game and settle into a role player role, and going on to win another championship up there in 2014. And I believe what was that 2007 when Tony Parker was the MVP. How much I got for you, Carl? That's three
One
right
more.
there.
One more.
One more.
Yeah.
Man, one more. I'm going to Charles Barkley for this one. I'm going to Charles Barkley just because of the fact that when I was coming up, it was really weird and different to see a big man run the floor like that. Being able to come through and slam, and I know I still, I'm still a little bit young, but I do remember some of those games that would show up on NBC. So definitely got to give it to Charles Barkley. And what other guy can steal the spotlight from Michael Jordan, especially overseas? Got to give it to him.
All right, so we go Dirk, KG, Tim Duncan, and Charles Barkley. Andres, the floor is yours.
Well, first thing, Ziggy, we're all young here. So you need to stop saying that we're old, man. None of us here are old. We're all young. We're all living life. We're all enjoying life. And knock on wood, we're still going to be healthy, man. So don't ever say that you're old again, bro. Listen, man. Number 4, we got Charles Barkley, man. 1993 MVP, 11-time NBA All-Star, 23,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 2 gold medals. He was a part of the Dream Team. He got traded to Phoenix. He took that team to the finals. He was putting up 40-20 games in the playoffs. Like, if you watch his tape, like me, I'm a youngin', I used to watch his tape a lot. He was amazing. And next up, number 3, we got KG. What more can we say? 2004 MVP, NBA champion, 15-time NBA All-Star. He was a Defensive Player of the Year 2008. Shout out to Carl and his Boston Celtics. Gold medalist at the 2000 Olympics, 25,000 plus points, 14,000 plus rebounds. If you were watching KG on the Wolves or on the Celtics, he was putting on a show. During that 08 playoff Celtics run, I know, Carl, you like to praise Paul Pierce, and I'm sorry for bringing him up, but KG was the guy. If the Celtics wanted to win those first 3 rounds until the finals, Kevin Garnett was the guy.
Thank you.
Number 2, we got Dirk Nowitzki, 2007 MVP, 2011 Finals MVP, NBA champion, 14-time NBA All-Star. He's a part of the 50-40-90 club. Some might say he should have won MVP in 2006. Some might say he shouldn't have won in 07, but regardless, he is an MVP. 6th all-time in scoring. It's hard to take that away from him. And number 1, Mr. Fundamentals, Tim Duncan. I mean, what more can you say? 5-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP, back-to-back MVP in 2002, 2003, 15-time NBA All-Star, 26,000 points, 15,000 rebounds. I mean, he was the definition of a fundamental guy. And a lot of people like to say, oh, well, he was quiet, but he got the job done. The 2003 finals, for those of you that didn't watch the finals or are too young, or like me, I'm young. We're all young. Go on YouTube and watch the 2003 finals. Watch game 1. Watch the whole series. Tim Duncan was dominant.
All right, so we got Tim Duncan, Dirk, KG, and Charles Barkley. Ray Jarv, let me start with you. Did you believe Chuck would make it on everyone else's list? Because you're the only one who didn't put him on.
I mean, like if there's a VIP, like Chuck is in the VIP, but he's just not in the top 4. He the top 6. You know what I mean? But the 4 I picked, I feel like those guys were monsters above him. That's my choice.
So now let me turn to Mike. Mike, everybody else put Kevin Garnett, but you didn't. Why?
Dirk took his spot. because to me that has always been. It was four guys in basically our era: Dirk, KG, Chris Webber, and Dirk, KG, Chris Webber, and Kevin Garnett. It was those four guys, and out of those four guys, Dirk was the most dominant in terms of offensively and particularly in the playoffs. Of those four guys, Dirk's the only one that averages 25 and 10 in the playoffs. So Dirk took his spot. And I think the power forward position, it really is, a lot of this boils down to how much do you value the championships. So if you value the championships high, that's why most people, this panel's dope, but most people always have Tim Duncan number one. And it's because of the championships. It's not because of, like, Tim Duncan, of all the people we named, Tim Duncan is the least dominant.
Yeah. I agree. To add to what Mike was saying, it depends on what player you're looking at. Like, for example, I would start a team with Kevin Garnett before I would start a team with Tim Duncan. And if you're comparing, like, let's say KG and Dirk, KG was good on offense and good on defense, but Dirk used to give people the drugs on offense. So it comes down to what's your preference. You can't just sit here and say, oh, well, Dirk was like a first-round exit, worst MVP performance. Like, in the early 2000s, he was giving teams the drugs. He outplayed Kevin Garnett in their series. So it's hard to discredit that.
Ziggy and Andres, you both left off Karl Malone. Ziggy, let me start with you. Why is Karl Malone not on your list?
I don't like Karl Malone personally, man. So I ain't putting him on my list, bro.
Okay. Mr. Numbers?
Like I said, man, a lot of people like to say you can't separate the art from the artist, but in this case, I can. That's all I'm going to say. Short and sweet.
Okay. Ray, you had a point earlier before I'm sorry for cutting you off. You wanted to touch upon something?
I'll save it. Run the show, bro.
No. You go right ahead. No, because go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Dirk. I was piggybacking off of Andres' point about the playoffs. Dirk got busy. Like people hold 2007 against him?
2007,
What about the other years? Dirk got busy. It didn't matter who was around him. Like, he bust ass. Like, and no one says that enough about Dirk Nowitzki.
Well,
he gave people the work.
Yeah, well, you know what people will say about Dirk? I could hear them now. Well, Dirk didn't play defense. For his size, he didn't average enough rebounds compared to the other players. Yeah, that's the argument against Dirk.
He still gave people a work, and he did it in a time when the Western Conference was
dominant
everywhere. Everybody was in their prime. Everybody in their prime.
Dudes.
Shaq in his prime. Kobe in his prime. KG in his prime. Timmy in his prime. C. Webb in his prime. Every night is a dogfight.
Amari in his prime.
Amari in his prime. I forgot about Amari.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
No. It's just Carl, you know I've been saying this for years.
Yeah,
if Dirk was a black dude, he would be the greatest power forward ever. Without question. People would look at his numbers and they will give Tim Duncan the edge because of the championships, but outside of the championships, Dirk would be looked at totally different if he was a black dude. I'm telling you.
You know what though? Personally, I will say this, just looking at this list, it pains and hurts that Chris Webber can't. Like, I want to put Chris Webber, but I can't. I want to, but I can't though. You know what I'm saying? Like I love Chris. I love C Webb so much in his game, but he can't. He doesn't qualify. I can't knock off. I can't knock off anybody here to put C Webb in.
Chris Webber can't get in just mainly off of the fact of he got hurt. Once he got hurt, that was the end of that. I mean, he had a great run, especially in Sacramento with Mike Bibby and Peja and all them dudes, but once he got hurt, it was over. He was a monster. We saw what he could do outside and inside with the basketball. Defensively, he was a monster. He got in your head. He could run the floor. He could play point. I used to root for him against the Dallas Mavericks when he was playing with Dirk and Michael Finley and Steve Nash. I remember those days. Yeah. But I can't give it to Chris Webber just off of the names that we have here.
I know.
Duncan,
like I said, it hurts. I know, like, as much as I want to, I can never do it because, again, Chris doesn't match against the names that we have on this list. So let me.
Had a lot of snipers, man.
Say that again.
That Kings team had a lot of snipers.
Oh my goodness.
That must.
If Job team didn't get 27 free throws in a quarter, we'd be having a different conversation.
Facts.
I'm gonna do that because in Game 7, all I'm saying is in Game 7 they shot more free throws. Pager had a huge air ball and Dirk was
He
there.
did. I remember. I was watching that
I
game
don't
live.
want to hear it.
We
Mike
always
Bibby
go
my
back
man,
to
so
we
I
always
would
go
Mike
back to
Bibby.
that game, man. They throw so much shade for that game 7.
Yo,
Let's
listen,
talk about
man.
Game 7 though. At
I
the
remember
crib.
Pager shot the air ball. I remember that. But Mike Bibby,
Yeah.
my guy. So like,
Yeah. All right. So, Jarv, I'm gonna give you the floor first. Out of your 4, who cracks the ultimate hit list?
It's pretty obvious by now that it's Dirk. Dirk
Okay.
is on the list, and I forgot the name Rasheed Wallace in his prime.
Honorable
Another
mention
wolf
too.
in the Western Conference.
Ooh.
She
You know what I'm
was that
saying?
dude.
Dirk had to deal with a lot of these guys, and he gave all of them the work.
Yeah,
So
we can-
with all
we
these
can
podcasts
Jermaine O'Neal.
coming out right now with these athletes, I need them to start talking nice about Dirk because they were there,
Yes,
they got
sir.
the work. So he's
Yeah.
up there for me.
You know what it is? Sheet is one of the other things with C Web where I'm like, damn, I really want to, but there's no one else I could knock off to put Sheet up there. So it's unfortunate. Mike, out of your 4, who cracks the list?
you already know who's getting it for me, Carmelo. But since Ray did an honorable mention, let me shout out my guy, Jermaine O'Neal. Okay.
Oh,
we gotta
no,
run.
come on.
Nah.
Come on, man. No, we can't do that. No,
Let's
come
not
on.
get silly.
Let's
Hey,
be serious. Come on, let's not do that.
Hold on.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Look
at
Come
his
on,
face.
man. No,
Yo,
man.
hold on.
Listen,
Let me
I
talk-
love you. I love you. I'm not going to accept
Hold
that
on.
from you. I don't
Hold
want you
on.
to embarrass.
Hold
Don't
on.
let me allow you to embarrass yourself like that. Don't do that.
Let me talk to you real quick.
Don't do that. There's
When
nothing
we
to talk about. No,
Hold on. Let
No.
me hold. Can you listen?
I don't want to listen. No.
You're gonna listen anyway, because I'm gonna keep talking. So when you talk about Sheed's dominance on Portland, how many years was it? 3 years?
4 years. Yeah,
2, 3
give or take.
years, yeah.
2, 3 years.
Look at Jermaine O'Neal's dominance with the Pacers. It was the same thing.
Oh,
The
God,
Pakers.
bro.
Wasn't it the same thing?
No.
It was the same thing.
No. Rasheed
Why?
Wallace went to the Pistons and he ended up
Right.
helping them.
Right.
Yo, I'm
He
telling
was
you,
that X factor. They made a trade for him at trade deadline,
No.
and they went to a championship because of.
Like, you're not gonna
What are you
squeeze
talking
Jermaine
about?
O'Neal
Yo,
in,
listen.
man.
Yo,
You can't
y'all
change
just-
narratives for
Can you let me
teams.
tell this? Let me tell this story, okay?
There's no story to tell. We're talking
Rasheed
Jermaine
Wallace as the
O'Neal.
best. Hold on, let me make it more clear. Rasheed Wallace as the best player on his Portland team did what? Does
Western
anyone know?
Conference Finals, and they gave up a 13-point lead to the Lakers.
Jermaine O'Neal did the same thing with the Pacers.
But Rasheed Wallace also got traded to the Pistons, and they went to a championship.
So he was
the
able
X
to
factor.
be on another team and be a third option.
Oh
I'm
my
talking about
God.
when he was the best player on a team. What did he do?
I'm not taking Jermaine O'Neal. If you
He
guys want
went.
to make the
No,
argument,
we're
no.
not. No, bro. I'm not saying we're taking Jermaine O'Neal. I'm saying Ray made an honorable mention. I'm saying why can't I make an honorable mention?
I don't think
Jermaine O'Neal.
I don't think Jermaine O'Neal qualifies for
But we
honorable.
don't think Jermaine O'Neal belongs up there, Mike.
How many times was Rasheed Wallace in the MVP consideration?
Oh my God.
Never. How many times was Jermaine O'Neal?
Can we go to the next guy?
I'm just saying.
Listen.
I'm just saying.
Fine,
We
yo,
will
I'm
give
moving
my
on.
man-
I'm not even gonna.
Oh, baby.
I'm not even gonna
I'm just
embarrass you. You know what?
saying,
I'm
like,
gonna save you. I'm gonna cut this out. I'm not even gonna
You
embarrass you
can't
like
save
that.
me. No,
Yeah, I'm gonna
you
save you.
better
I'm
make
gonna
sure
save
this
you.
edits. No,
Oh
don't
my
cut
God.
nothing. No.
I'm gonna tease a clip with this and say you want to
Tease
talk
it.
about with
Tease
Jermaine
it.
O'Neal.
Carl,
My
you can
God.
do whatever you want.
Oh my God.
Do
Fine.
whatever you want.
Ziggy,
man.
Ziggy, who's cracking your list out of the ones that you named?
Oh, Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
Gotta do it.
And then Andres, you're basically left with no other choice because everyone on your list is already. No, actually, no. I'm sorry. You have.
Yes,
a
I
choice.
do. Come on,
I'm sorry,
bro.
sorry. You have a choice. Who you got?
KG, bro.
KG. Okay. So
Listen,
we go.
I want to add one more thing before we go. A lot of people like to bash Dirk for his performances after he won the championship, but Tim Duncan after 07, what were the Spurs doing from 2008 to 2013 before they made the finals?
Changing their offense.
Going to the playoffs.
Getting bumped.
But that was
Yeah.
it. They lost to a
They
one.
was changing their offense and running through Tony Parker. They stopped running through Tim Duncan.
Yep.
Pop changed his offense.
Another thing that doesn't get talked about a lot.
But he got older, so you can't discredit him for that.
No, I'm not discrediting him. I'm just saying. I'm just
It's
adding.
just part of the point.
Okay.
Saying that
So-
they killed Dirk, but they don't give Timmy that same treatment.
Exactly.
Timmy's
You got
people
it.
say Kawhi Leonard is the most protected. Timmy's the most protected superstar. in NBA.
Mhm, mhm.
People don't say that. Greg say that.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
You're right.
so-
It is Greg.
So overall, we have KG, Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki, and Carmelo. Are we all satisfied with that?
I'm not mad at it.
You said, what'd you say? You said KG.
KG, Tim
Tim
Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki, and Carmelo. Are we satisfied?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Western Conference.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
basically what it is. Yeah,
That's
what it-
crazy, man.
That's basically what it
That's
is.
crazy, man.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me here on this panel. Up next, we have small forward. We know how that's going to go. Small forward is up next. I believe Andres, Falco, Anthony, and Greg are on that panel. So let them work that one out. Please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to all Sports Hit List content. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.
Peace, bro.
Thanks for watching the Sports Hit List. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. In fact, do it now.